Welcome to the Power Coast Girls podcast. Here we have honest conversations about faith, relationships, and personal growth. No filters, no pretending, just real life and real faith.
Whether you're a believer, a curious skeptic, or somewhere in between, you belong here. Our hope is that every conversation leaves you encouraged, strengthened, and empowered. So let's get into it. Hi.
Welcome back, you guys.
It took us everything in our willpower to be here today.
To be here. The enemy is trying to stop us from not recording this episode. It feels like.
Honestly, like it's literally been hurdle after hurdle specifically today.
Today
emotionally, physically, mentally.
Oh my gosh. It's a Monday for us.
That is true.
So yeah, no, we tried recording. Well, the first time we tried recording, there were a lot of technical difficulties leading up to that. And then we recorded. You guys, we were
20 minutes in.
20 minutes in.
Great content.
Yeah. So we're going to try to replicate
I said this,
that again.
I never even knew I was capable of saying.
I know. I know. We're going to try to replicate that. But
and then the camera overheated.
Yeah, the camera overheated. But anyways.
Thankfully, we have Jess, our favorite technician.
Thank you. Well, shout out to where we record. Levi's been super helpful. But yeah, man, if I didn't bring an extra SD card too, that would have been rough.
I know.
Oh god.
I wouldn't have even known. I would have literally packed my stuff and just left.
You'd been like I'm
later.
done for today.
Emotionally draining.
I know.
But we're here.
We're here. And you know, it's really funny because today's topic is, what's today's question?
Drum roll. How do I practice self-control when I believe someone is wrong?
Yeah. Which, not that we're blaming this on anybody,
no.
but the emotions that can kind of come with that, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's emotionally exhausting.
I feel like lately I've been put in multiple situations and environments where I had to practice self-control, and most of the times I did not practice self-control.
Yeah. Why do you think
complete F?
Why do you think that was? Like, were you always like that growing up, or like was that something you kind of dealt with more in your adulthood?
Yeah, I mean, like with self-control and just like, I guess defending when I'm offended, and so I'm like defending either my faith or defending my opinion or defending a person,
your character,
my character,
yeah,
right?
Your
like
family,
yeah, my family.
Your husband.
My husband, I will defend to the last
ends
minute.
of the earth, yeah.
Yeah, a couple things actually play a role in that. Like, obviously, culture and family and upbringing, language, you know, like the Arabic and the Assyrian language is very aggressive. And a lot of the times, if I translate half of the things that were said to us growing up, I feel like Americans
would be like, are they cussing
North
at each
Americans
other?
would be like, what is happening? That's not a normal thing to say.
I remember when we first moved to California, we were both teaching each other different like words in our language, right? So I was like, oh, this is how you say this in Spanish, and she's like, this is how you say this in Arabic. And we were in the kitchen cooking, and I was like, how do you say broccoli? Because we were making broccoli, and she's like,
Carnabiats.
yeah, carnabiats.
It's so ugly.
And I was like, what? And then she's got to say it more. Carnabiats. And I was like,
Carnabiats.
yeah, it's like, what? But it's true. It can sound very aggressive and just like mean.
Yeah.
But it's not. You're like, I'm literally saying broccoli.
Yeah. And then you couple that with passion towards a person or towards a topic or towards my faith.
Yeah.
And it's like, it can so be taken wrong. You know, so I think I've really struggled with my approach and my delivery. And like my husband always tells me like, you're extremely sharp. Like, I probably should have been a lawyer. I know a few of my coworkers were telling me that. They're like, why are you in sales? You belong as a lawyer.
I know. It's so funny to say this because literally like the other day I was talking to my husband and I was just like, man, I would have been a really good lawyer, you know? And he was like, no, you're too disorganized for that. You probably would be like, wait, I forgot I was going to say, hold on.
Like, wait, I need to train my thoughts.
Yeah. But no, because like, you know, Jimmy knows about this. We were having some issues with our, just like, you know, we have a dog and he's an emotional support animal and we were having a lot of issues with the apartment and stuff like that. Long story short, we actually have a meeting with like, I don't know if it's like this sounds really serious, but it's like the civil rights, whatever.
Yeah, I would too.
And because
if it was my Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper, he's a sweet boy.
Shout out to Cooper.
Shout out to Cooper. But anyways, we felt in that situation that we were being wronged and denied you know, we have we deny our right. Like, we have paperwork. Everything should be what we need to make sure that you know, fee is waived. And the department came back and they were not giving us answers, being very defiant. I would even take a step forward and say I think that they were lying and not really going above to like really help us. So in that moment, I was like, little keyboard, you gangster, like
keyboard warrior.
Yeah, like let me make sure, like, not that I was trying to be ugly, but I was just like, I was trying to fight for what was right. And I'm like, okay, calm down. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I really do think it's going to get resolved. But in that moment, I was like, man, I should have been a lawyer.
I know. I think I would have done well.
Yeah.
I feel like I heard that growing up all the time. Like, my parents are like, you love to argue. You should have just been a lawyer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I used to, I think I did debate a little bit when, like, you know, I don't know if y'all ever had speech class in Canada. Did you have speech class?
Did they make you memorize, like, your speeches?
Yeah, well, you'd have to, like...
Present it in front of the gym?
Present it and, like, the gym.
Like in a gymnasium?
Oh, no, it was just, like, a class. Not like in front of, like, a whole audience. I mean, like, a little audience. But, no, I remember, like, I think just, like, 7th or 8th grade, it was, like, speech class. And so they would give us topics, and then one of the portions of the class was, like, debating. And that would be, like, one of my favorite things. I'd be like, I am ready to get behind the podium. Let me tell this person why their side is wrong or invalid. But... yeah, there's a lot of emotions that come up with that, and I think that's kind of what you were alluding to, is like the self-control piece can be so overlooked because we're so overcome with our emotions, because we're hurt, we're disappointed, we're angry, we're all the negative things, and we just want to stick it to the man, right? Yeah. But that's not right.
And it's actually, self-control actually starts before you even respond. And I think it's like, even the Bible talks a lot about the wisdom behind pausing before you speak. Obviously, like, a popular verse is James 1:19. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And obviously, like, when we feel hurt, disrespected, or we believe like something, like someone is wrong, our instinct is to naturally defend, naturally become reactive, like show our emotions, you know. But there is actually so much wisdom behind just like taking a second to like realize what's happening and to pause, because it's in your response that the person either receives or neglects. Sorry, not neglects, rejects.
Like rejects, yeah.
And a lot of the Bible verses actually do speak about the wisdom behind just like slowing down and not even getting emotional. I know Proverbs 12:16. I'm going to actually read it. Like in the one of the versions that are typical, it says, a fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted. I love the Passion Translation, not as like your main go-to because it's way off. But
that's how I feel about the Message version. I used to love the Message version.
It's so good. It breaks it down in a way for you to understand.
Yeah, it's so easy to understand. It's very wordy though sometimes. I'm like, one verse is like translated, it's like 5 verses.
Yeah.
But some of it too, you have to kind of be careful because you're like, wait, what?
It just complements the original transcripts and helps you understand and break it down.
But what does the Passion version say?
The Passion version says, if you shrug off an insult and refuse to take offense, you demonstrate discretion indeed. But the fool has a short fuse and will immediately let you know when he's offended.
Ooh, that's so good.
You know, it's like you don't have to give that reaction. You don't have to give that comment. You don't have to, like, even if it is insulting, even if it's hurtful, even if it attacks your character, it's like there's just so much more wisdom and strength.
Yeah.
That comes with like taking a second to think before you speak, because it's so much easier to just like say what's on your mind, you know, and you can't take it back. You might have said too much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like literally thinking about an exact situation from last night. Yeah. You know, like my parents were in town and I felt like I said something very, very sharp. It was with great intentions, with hopes to like fix a problem or to like bring light and to acknowledge something that's happening. But it's like the approach and the delivery, like because of the sharpness and how quick I could be to respond. It
came across in a way that they were like, because I didn't like how that came across, I'm going to, like you said, reject what you're saying to me, even though I probably agree with you. I think that's true. I think about my dad. You know, you talk about the Middle Eastern culture. Well, Latin culture is very similar too. I would say we're both very equally, very passionate in the way we speak and act and everything. The culture is so vibrant, right? Both of our cultures, but it also has its downside where like my dad, he had a rough upbringing. He didn't come to really, I feel like truly probably have a close relationship with the Lord until maybe he's like, whenever he was a teenager. And, anyway, so he saw a lot of things in his youth that were not good, a lot of ungodly things. And I think because he was just so protective over us and didn't want us to, struggle with the things that he had to struggle with and or do things or fall into things that maybe he saw in his own family, he was so, to me, it came across as so aggressive because it felt very condemning, or it felt very like, we don't do this, we don't do that. But ultimately it came from a place of love, but to your point, it can come across as sharp. So when we're trying to correct someone, we really need to check our heart to make sure, where is this coming from? Is this coming from a place of me just trying to be right? Or is it truly because I think this is how the Lord wants me to respond to that person? Because I think more times than less, like we just want to be right and we just want to stick it to the man. How many times have we gotten a text message from someone and they just set us off and we just want to pop off? That's happened to me. Yeah. I've done that before, where I was that person who sent a long paragraph and I reread it. I probably screenshot it too. It was like, Demi, how does it sound? Does it sound good? And it's like, what are you doing?
I can think of like 10 different situations in the last week where it has resulted in me just like jumping to my defense and defending my honor and defending my rights.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was like a work thing. I'm not going to get into it, but I know it's like if my coworkers are listening, they'd be laughing because they know what I'm talking about. But it's just like, I felt so strong about this one thing, and the person that I was speaking to, I guess, originally was actually way higher in the chain of commands than I thought.
Oh, no.
But that did not bother me, I didn't know, but it didn't also stop me, nor did I stop to think, like, let me just check.
Like, what are the repercussions of this?
What his credentials are. You know what I mean?
So what happened?
I was just so aggressive with my approach, and it's like, I asked to speak to his boss.
Oh, no.
And I reached out to
I am
boss.
He's like, I am the boss.
He literally said that. I was like, who can this be escalated to? And he's like, I am actually the point of escalation. I was like, no, there needs to be someone above you. Like, and I went and found that person. And anyways, long story short, it's in those moments I had a right. And it's not to say that I don't have a right for that.
Like, it wasn't justified.
It wasn't justified. That's a great word. Yeah, it wasn't justified. But it's like, the way that he probably took it as was like, this girl's mean. This girl's like who does this girl think she is talking to me that way? You know what I mean? Like, he probably didn't walk away from that conversation and be like, I see Jesus in her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, dang, like, who like set this girl on fire?
Off.
You know? Yeah. And it's so funny because like he probably, he's probably gonna see me actually this week. He's gonna have to meet me, and he's gonna probably look down and be like, it's this girl that talked to me this way. Like, not even 5 feet. Like, dang, Doom.
Actually, me and Doom are like the same height, and my doctor says I'm 5 foot. So you're off.
My husband says I'm 4'11" and a half based on the measurements.
Tony, you're wrong. Maybe I just have to come to terms that I'm actually 4'11". What do you say you are?
4'11" and a half.
4'11" and a half.
People are like, are you sure you don't want to just say 5? I was like, I'm truthful.
Oh, gosh. That's where you're truthful with the height? That's so funny. No, but it is so hard to, specifically, okay, I think it's one thing where it's like, you see something that's happening to maybe someone else and it's wrong, and you want to speak up and you want to say something. That's easier to have self-control. What if it's something that's done to you? Someone says something bad about you in the workplace. They, attacked your character, right? Or someone was gossiping about you and your loved one, or someone lied to you over and over again. These are not things that happened to me. What? But
it's like in the last month.
I know. Yeah, these last few months were...
That's sensitive.
The Lord was really... Or not even the Lord. The Lord was working through me, but the devil was really trying to attack. But it's like, you think of these things as... Some of these things, right, that have happened to us, have happened to other people, they can be we can justify and say, well, that was sinful, right? Like, of course it's, sinful to be malicious and to speak slander. Like, of course it's sinful to lie to someone over and over again. Of course it's sinful to gossip about someone. But at the end of the day, who are we to judge other people? The only judge who can do that is God. He is the only righteous judge. But it's hard because we sit there and we're like, God, how can we allow these people to hurt us or treat us this way when the Bible says what they've done is sinful? And it's like, I can't be Judge Judy and, put the gavel down because I love her. Because I know I love Judge Judy too. She's also, shout out to Judge Judy, because she's petite. She is still alive.
Is she still like doing her thing?
No, she was actually on a podcast. There's this other podcast from this girl, forget the actress's name, Amy Poehler. She's from Parks and Rec show. Anyway, she has a podcast. Judge Judy was on it. Very random, right? What? I know, but she's got to be like, I don't know, 80?
I think, maybe even older. More.
I don't know.
The stories she probably has. I would want to have dinner with her.
Oh my gosh, I know, me too. But no, yeah, just to my point, it's like we can't be Judge Judy as much as we want to, right? And be like, these people did me wrong, because ultimately Jesus is the only judge. And like, we have to really take a step back and remember, like, we're not the ones who condemn. Only God can condemn. And I think what helps me sleep at night when I know that someone maybe did something wrong is what's easy for me to digest is, okay, here's how I can have self-control. God's, what you reap, you sow. So, if someone wants to, be malicious towards me, like, go ahead. I'm not doing it. You are. And that's something that you're going to have to, when you come before God, you will be judged for that. You want to gossip about me and my family? Go ahead. I won't be sitting at your table.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not entertain it.
Yeah, you want to keep lying over and over. Again, you're going to have to give account for your actions. That's not on me. That's on you. So that's something that I think we should try. That's at least something that I've been reminded of when someone does something wrong and you want to be able to like, oof, I got to tell them what they did was wrong. You have to remember, you have to put those feelings aside, those emotions, right, that come so easily, especially I feel like for women too. It's so easy to feel so emotional about something.
And passionate.
Yeah, and be like, oh, well, we get so wrapped up in our emotions. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we really need to pause and take a step back and say, you know what, I'm letting God handle this, because at the end of the day, this is his job, not mine.
Yeah. As you're speaking, something like completely came up to my mind, and I feel like God's like telling me to be like, share it now. What is it? And it's not that bad. But like, just to kind of go off of yours, Romans 12:19 says, do not take revenge. Mm-hmm. It is mine to avenge.
Yeah.
I will repay, says the Lord.
Yeah, that's so good.
And I'm sitting here and like, you brought up the word bully, right? Mm-hmm. I was so bullied, like extremely bullied. Yeah. And I'm just trying to picture the people in my network that are watching this video, that are watching my social medias, that are watching me like
that have seen you progress when you came to California to now.
Exactly. And not even just from them. It's like I was so bullied in that town, and of course a lot of the reasons I brought on myself. Yeah. I wasn't a good girl, and I didn't have a good reputation, and I made decisions that I shouldn't have made. And that reputation stayed with me for so many years. I didn't know any better. I look back now and I wish I can go back and change a million things. But it's like, I remember being in high school and like, so many girls would be so mean to me. And like, people would laugh at me as I'm walking down the hallway.
Wait, this was in school?
Yeah, in high school.
Oh, in high school.
High school. And specifically grade 9 and 10. And, like, people from my hometown listening to this are like, yep, she's being right. Like, there is no one that is listening that wouldn't have known me then that would question what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
Everyone that is listening at this point that know me from high school would know that what I'm saying is true.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would walk down the hallways and these girls would laugh at me, and like even the guys would contribute, but more girls. And I remember not having a care in the world, literally not a care in the world. And then maybe because I was like oblivious or like I didn't care, but I was just like, I got my like affirmation through other ways, so I didn't need those girls' affirmations.
Right.
But it's like, then I progress into college and I move out and I go to school, and I kind of started a different life. I had the opportunity to like be a different person.
Yeah.
And now fast forward, I look back and there were times in my life where I remember all of this hurt that people have caused me. And at the time it didn't mean anything to me. But then it became part of my like almost like mentality to like want to be successful and to want to do well and to show those people.
Motivator.
It was my motivator.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a huge reason why people that know me now and in my close circle know I do a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not healthy at times because it's not coming from a place of like good intentions, but it's probably coming from the little girl inside of me that wants to prove
everyone wrong,
all those people wrong. Yeah. And
essentially all these things too are lies, you know, like I feel like
that the enemy has used for so many years though, and I'm still unlearning.
Yeah.
It actually caused so much damage.
Yeah.
But there's so much, what's like the opposite of damage? It's like, there's so much, not healing, but, how do I say it? Like, there's just so much reward, I think, and knowing that justice is not mine to execute.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because now that I look at my life, fast forward to being 30 years old, like, I have a man that, like, God has had for me, and I'm so thankful for my husband, like, even more so these days. Like, pregnancy is not easy. Mood swings are not easy. Like, even watching other people's relationships, like, and I almost, like, compare them to, like, mine, and I'm confused as to, like, how someone so broken like me could get someone so great. Obviously, my husband's not perfect, but he is nothing compared to what I thought I deserved, you know? And then
just God's faithfulness to you.
His grace, you know? And it's, like, even in, like, allowing me to move to California, like, a beautiful state where I don't have to, like, suffer and hibernate 9 months out of the 12, you know? Like, I have a great community. I have a best friend like you. I get to have this podcast where God knows what's going to happen with it. Like, he's obviously using this for his kingdom, for his purpose, like, to share and to touch other people's lives. Like, being on the worship team, having a baby even.
There's so many good
things.
There's
just so many blessings. Yeah. And I feel like justice has been served in a sense because, like, not to say that my life is better than all of those people that made fun of me, but I tend to go back and look at, like, where they're at. Just naturally. I'm like, I'm curious.
It's usually those are the people that you look at them now and you're like, oh, like, they peaked at high school.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
They peaked in college. Yeah. And I mean, that's...
It's not even... I don't even want them to... I want them to continue
to be successful, right.
You know, it's not even a place... Like, even after so many years, people have reached out to me from high school and apologized. Yeah. You know, and it's like... It's such a lesson because sometimes justice is not served in the moment. Right. And God is trying to teach you a lesson, even in the waiting. Right. You know, even when you're right and you deserve that apology, you deserve that acclamation that you're correct or that you're in the right. Or
that you were wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. The affirmations. It's like, even then, God will use a situation and try to impact both people's lives. He will not make waste of a situation and just try to change one person and not the other.
Absolutely. That sounds so similar to what my mentor had told me, you know, over these last couple of months. There have been, I mean, you know, we're not going to get into detail, but there have been a lot of things that have happened these last, 7 months. Yeah. And that is something that she has said. And I was telling her, you don't, I didn't say you don't understand, because of course she understands. She's a very seasoned, you know, wonderful woman. But it's like, you don't understand, this is so hard. Like, I feel so wronged, you know? And, like, you can probably look back and look at the bullies, right? That bullied you and be like, that was so mean and wrong of them.
Some of them are dead.
Oh, my gosh.
Like,
that's awful.
I know. Like, that's, like, extreme, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them are, like, really heavy into drugs. Some of them are successful and happy. Yeah. You know, but it's, like, where I'm at, like, even more, like, even when you were just saying right now, you, like, we were wronged and all that stuff. It's like, who else was wronged? The Lord Jesus, right? When he came to earth. Yeah, right. It's in those sufferings. It's in those times. Like, he didn't need to learn any lessons, but everything that he went through was a lesson for us, you know? And I think there's just so much freedom in knowing that justice is not ours to serve.
Right.
It's not ours to execute.
Our job, right.
It's not our job to get these people to know.
Right.
But it is our job to check our hearts. It is our job to maintain peace,
to not be reactive, to not also be revengeful and to repay and to say, you know what, you made me feel this way, so I'm going to also make you feel that way.
Of course.
It's so much stronger for us to hold our tongue. And I know that is so hard because I know both you and I, when we run our mouths, you know who wins? The devil wins.
Yeah.
The devil wins every time when we run our mouth because we are no better than anyone else on the earth. So back to kind of what you were saying too about like just like the lesson in it for you on the other side, the person who was wrong or the person who was, you know, all the things. There's a lesson in that too, to be more gracious, to be more loving, to be more patient, kind. But man, that is hard. And I think that was a question that I would tell my mentor. I'd be like, why do I have to be the one to show these fruitful things, like the good things, like kindness and patience and all that? And then she's
like, why is it always on me to be the one that delivers? And
even that's the price we pay to be a Christian. And ultimately there's a reward for it.
Even my mentor was like telling me like something that she's helped me kind of work through is like, when you're dealing with people in certain situations, even if they're wrong, like even if you're right and they're wrong, like at the end of the day, they're operating under like a spirit of jealousy. They're operating under the spirit of competition. They're operating under something that is not godly. It's not godly.
Yeah.
So why would you expect them to respond or to even acknowledge that they're in the wrong?
Right.
Instead, God will convict their heart, right? Because it's in that conviction when God is the one that judges and he executes justice. It's only in those situations where God's involved and he's doing it directly with the person does long-term change come into play. Right. Because at that point, if I'm like taking it upon myself to like make sure this person responds or acts a certain type of way, it's just behavior modification.
Exactly.
It does not last long.
They're not
You need a heart change.
Right. They're not.
I can't change your heart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel like it takes off a lot of stress but there's a lot of like practice of self-control and like learning to hold back and like pause and even like react to like offensive things graciously.
Yeah, it's true. And it's hard, but it's so worth it. It's going to be so much more worth it in the end for us.
Yeah.
Or the person who was wronged.
Yeah.
One verse that really resonates with me is Isaiah 61:8. It says, "For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrongdoing. I will faithfully reward my people for their suffering and make an everlasting covenant with them." So that's why it's not easy, but it's easier to say, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back and I'm gonna let God convict and I'm gonna let God do what he does best, and I'm gonna just sit and obey and do the things that he asks of me, because I know that in the end justice will be served. That sounds really dramatic, but there will be justice for me. And not only just justice, I'm going to get a reward. I always think about my mom would say, like, when we were growing up, she'd be like, you know, if you do something good or if you, like, you know, try not to sin, you know, you do the right thing, you're getting more jewels for your crown in heaven. And so I'm like, you know what? I want the fattest crown when I get to heaven. So, like,
but you know what's crazy? Those crowns are going to be thrown at the Lord Jesus' feet.
Yeah.
And that's all that's going to matter. So when people are like, oh, you're just doing it for the reward. No, it's not like that. It's because when we're up there, the Lord is going to be everything and anything, you know? So it's like, you're going to want to have the most to give back to him. And I think that reward doesn't just come in the afterlife. That reward also comes now. Because it's not like people are going to stop offending you.
Right.
You're not going to stop running into challenging people. You're not going to stop running into stubborn people or people that won't acknowledge their wrongs.
Yeah.
You can't fix everyone, but it's like these people will always exist. So why not learn to like just handle properly and in a godly way, because it is only going to make your life and all of these future instances so much easier.
Yeah. And people respond more to what is the phrase? It's like they won't remember what you say, but they'll remember how you feel. So
how you make them feel.
Yeah. So if I make sure that I don't try to be revengeful towards that person, and maybe I was silent, maybe when they were being loud and being, trying to get to me or be disrespectful or whatever, they're going to remember that, oh, well, she didn't make me feel these things because I wasn't being reactive. But if I do make them feel a certain way, which is bad, then they're going to remember that. And ultimately for me, that's not a good thing. Or it's a stumbling block. So we want to talk about some of the takeaways that people can kind of put into place.
We love practicality.
Yeah. I mean, we need that. I mean, for me, I have to see it like literally in writing for it to just be ingrained in my mind. So you want to take the first two?
Yeah. Kind of like 4 takeaway steps that we wanted to just outline in this podcast is like, learn to pray, to pause and pray before you respond. And then check your heart before you correct someone else.
Yeah. And then the last 2 was choose peace over proving your point.
Wow, that one's hard.
And then 4, let God handle what you can't control.
And it's just like, what do you define as what you can't control? Because in my world, a lot of the times I try to manipulate and try to control, but it's like, even the idea or like the acceptance of the idea of accepting that you can't control everything is also a task.
Yeah. And then also ultimately trusting God to do the work for you. Because again, we're like, oh, well, I want to make sure that I, tell this person that they were wrong or whatever. And it's like, whoa. Like, that's not your job. Like, relax. Like, God
also sees things that these people are going through. So
we don't see the full picture. Like you said,
exactly.
This is another thing too. Like, I feel like there is always a reason why someone responds to you, whether that be them trying to tear you down, or you were touching on the jealousy and all that stuff. It's always a reflection of themselves. It's never about you. It's always about the other person. So when they try to make you feel bad, they're just trying to bring you down, essentially, to their level. And we have to remember, this isn't about me. This is about them, essentially. And ultimately, God's going to chip away at the things that need to be fixed, like he does with all of us. Still doing that with me, Like, I would say I don't have the best self-control now, but ask my husband, ask you. Like, I have a lot more self-control now than I would say, a year ago. And thank God for that. But I probably wouldn't have had more self-control if I didn't have to go through certain things,
Of course. He's not going to give it to you on a silver platter. He's going to put you through situations and hardships and, just circumstances. And I think it's in those situations where you are needing to practice self-control, take it as an opportunity to learn and to grow and to, just get closer to the goal. And I think the goal should always be, no matter who the person is in front of you, no matter what's happening, the goal should always be, as a believer, to become more like Christ.
Right.
Exactly. Take every opportunity to become more like Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
But
all right, guys, I hope you got something out of this episode. I know we're still learning, but it's something that today's episode, I know we were like, this is going to be probably
this one hit home
a little heavy, but we're all growing and learning and doing life together.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night.